Hello, everyone. Margie Roman here, and we are with the amazing Robert Allen in the Creative Wealth with Robert Allen. Thank you so much for coming over.
Thank you, Marjorie. And thank you for being here. You know, it takes time out of your day to listen or watch these podcasts. I want to give you a attaboy, attagirl for doing that. I hope you learned something from these podcasts because we love to do them for you. We realize that this is all free for you. We give our time, we give our effort here to help you achieve your dreams. So my hope is that sometime during the podcast that we do, you'll get an aha, an idea that will change the way you see the world. And we've got lots of podcasts for you to experience. This is my gift to you. Welcome to the Creating Wealth podcast.
That's right. And it's amazing that you're truly sharing with us how many ways there are for us to be an investor. And today we're going to talk about actually that. I know that there are two ways of being an investor, the passive and the active investor. So first of all, what is a passive investor?
Passive is what you eventually want all of your investments to be. This is the Holy Grail, where your money is growing passively without you being there. Now, there are certain traditional passive investments, such as the stock market, bonds, ways in which your money grows without you having to make it grow. And therefore, S&P 500 is a passive investment. That means you get to buy a little tiny slice of the 500 best companies in the world. And I buy an index fund or an index ETF that grows in value over time, meaning, generally speaking, the stock market is going to increase over time. It always has. It may drop for a year or two or three or five, but eventually it seems to rebound. Why? Because 500 companies that are the best, most successful companies in the world are going to figure out a way to be more successful next year. And if one company drops out of the 500, a new one pops in. So you always have the 500 best. And therefore, you need to invest in that passively every month for the rest of your life, period. End of story. The richest man on the planet, or the richest investor, is Warren Buffett. He tells you to do this. He's told people to do this throughout his entire career. He says, don't be me. Don't invest like I invest. Invest the simple, easy, fun, safe, passive way. Just have it sucked out of your bank account, put automatically into a stock fund like S&P 500. I do that. I think you should do that. I just wish I had done it 25 years earlier, but I didn't. It wasn't until, a few years ago that I finally said I should take my own advice. So I did. So passive investing is the Holy Grail. Now, what is active investing? Well, owning a business is an active investment. It means you can't walk away. You have to be there in the company to make it grow. If you're a real estate investor, that's active. You have to go look. You have to find a property. You have to manage it. You have to take care of it. You have to pay the mortgages. You got all kinds of little things that are going on actively. But eventually, this is the point. 5 years from now, maybe you own 10 properties. Could you get a management company to manage that for you?
That's right.
They take 10%. But hey, you don't have to be there now. Mm-hmm. They'd send a check to you wherever you want it to be sent. And now you could move to France and they would send you a check. And as the mortgages get paid off, eventually, when that last mortgage is paid off, the home is free and clear, which means that all of the cash flow comes to you. Not some of it going to the mortgage payment, but 100% of that money comes to you. The management company gets 10% and you get all 90% of the net that's left after over expenses. And now if you got 10 properties like that are free and clear and are managed by somebody else, that's passive. That's what you eventually want. But at first, you have to be actively involved in it, actively engaged, unless you're investing as a limited partner into a real estate fund, or you have a small real estate partnership that you're growing with. And so maybe they want you to be the passive investor. Maybe that's how they're getting you. They're saying, We're the active investors. We're the general partners. We'll go out there and find the deal. We'll fund it. We'll fix it up. We'll take your money, put it into it. We'll give you a return on your money, a guaranteed return, or a consistent return.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's more than you could get in the stock market. Maybe they give you a little piece of the ownership too. General partner wins more, but the limited partner is a passive investor. That's a way to get involved in the real estate game. It means you make less money as a limited partner. Maybe your return is only 10 or 11%, or 12%, 15%. If you're the general partner, you're probably going to make 20, 30, 40%. If you're owning a piece of real estate and you own it all, you're going to get 100, 200, 300% on your money.
That's right.
So there are ways to be a passive investor in real estate at first. But even if you're actively involved and own it all yourself, eventually you'll own enough of them that you'll hire somebody else to do the job you don't want to do anymore. You don't want to paint. You don't want to paint kitchens. You don't want to fix toilets. You don't want to do any of that. You don't want to mow lawns. I'm sorry, don't want to do that. Mm-hmm. So the goal is to ultimately be a passive investor.
But it is okay, for sure, to start as an active investor, because I feel like as in any investment, it's kind of like your baby, your investment is your baby. You have to be actively involved, making sure that it grows. But once it's big enough, you can let it go a little bit, because you could become a passive investor at that point, because you would be outsourcing those extra tasks that you don't want to do with another company.
Exactly. Excuse me. I got a little tickle in my throat. See, these podcasts are live. So they go out the way they go out.
And I do love that one of the characteristics of being an investor is that you truly outsource your those extra tasks to other people. And I feel like that comes when you realize how much worth is your value, your time. Because it's so easy to become an to start into the game of real estate and be like, I'm going to do everything. I'm going to fix this. I'm going to be my own real estate agent. I'm going to be the one looking for the deals. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But if you truly want to grow your portfolio, you need to be humble enough and accept help of other people.
You have to turn your solopreneur into real entrepreneurship, where you bring a member of the other members of the team on to help you. And that means it's more money to expend for these other people on the team. Mm-hmm. But your growth happens much more quickly when you can focus on what you're great at, and let other people do their jobs, what they're great at. And that's how you tenfold your business.
That's right.
If you don't, then you're as a solopreneur, you have to do everything. You do everything, can't grow.
That's right. And you will stay just limited to that one little investment that you have, because you just don't have the bandwidth to do more than that.
That's exactly right. They don't have the bandwidth. That's exactly right.
And I feel like, as in any other entrepreneur, the key of getting into real estate is because you are looking for financial freedom. If you are going to be the person that is doing everything within your real estate deals, you're just going to be a slave of that property. You're not going to have that freedom that you're so looking for. So for all of those out there, if you truly want to become a successful investor, invest in having a team, because that team is going to allow you to grow your portfolio way faster than what you were thinking.
I got one of my great friends and investor success stories. He had teams of people fixing up real estate and had maybe 50 employees. He'd buy the property, they'd fix it up. Mm-hmm. He'd pay them. And then a hurricane came through his city.
Oh, no.
And it destroyed his properties. Oh, wow. His teams, he had to let go, or they went somewhere else where there was more money. Because when there's a hurricane, everybody needs help, and therefore
that's right.
they could earn twice as much money with somebody else. So literally his business went bankrupt.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he lost it all. And he said, well, how can I fix this? He says, I'm going to do real estate where I don't need a team of people that I pay high prices. I need a team of people that I can rent. It's what you do when you have an employee you're renting. Where can I find really sharp, smart people that are not expensive, that can do what I want them to do remotely? where I can invest in the entire country of the United States, not in one location that could be prone to a hurricane, but I can invest all over the entire United States, not owning a single property. He hired a team in Venezuela.
Oh, wow.
For $5 an hour or less, trained them how to be his bird dogs, showed them how to find the deals. They find the deals all on his behalf. It's his money that they're using to buy the properties with. So they find the deals. They negotiate the deals. They flip the deals.
Wow.
They find the seller, the buyer. They find the buyer. They do it all as his VAs. And they all live in another country. They all do it remotely. And he said, what's powerful for him is he doesn't have to pay him very much money, number one. They don't have to be physically in the city to do the work. Number two, I don't have to own the property. So if they did get destroyed by an avalanche or by a hurricane or by other natural disaster, since he doesn't own the property, he doesn't care if they got destroyed by an avalanche. He buys the property and wholesales it, flips it to somebody else, makes 10, 20, 30 grand on every flip. His team in Venezuela does all the work and he cashes all the checks. Now that's passive investing.
That's right. And then again, it comes down to being creative, because even if you don't think you can do it yourself, you can always get a team. And in this case, Venezuela, I know that the change of currency helps an awful lot when you're bringing American dollars into a country like that. But there's so many ways to find people to help you out and to get that team that is going to help you grow your investments. What are some last tips that you could give us so we can be on our way of being a passive investor?
Just make the decision to look at a situation and ask yourself that question. Could this eventually be passive to me? If you're looking at a business opportunity, then it's going to require your presence. Maybe it's going to require your name. Maybe you have a hard time extracting yourself from the business. Maybe you shouldn't start that business unless it's your purpose in life to run that business. In my case, I have to be here. I'm the coach. I'm the guy. I have to come in and shoot these podcasts for you. Is it passive to me? Generally not. Because I have to be here. Marjorie has to interview me. These are, trainings that we actually physically have to do. But I love to do them, number one. Therefore, it's fun to me. It's not work. Number two, I'm good at it. Therefore, it fits my purpose in life. It's something that I would do anyway, even if it was free, frankly. And then number four, some of you watching this right now, listening to this right now, you're going to say, that Robert Allen guy, he kind of resonates with me. I kind of like the way he describes it. There are a lot of people teaching this stuff, most of whom were taught by me, by the way. Most of the guys that are out there really learned it from me. But okay, I want to work with the OG, they say. So Robert Allen's the guy. So a tiny percentage of you are going to click on the link down below in my bio. You're going to say, how do I work with Robert? He has a whole set of trainings that are all pre-programmed, and those trainings are awesome. They're the best of the best. Can I watch and be trained that way? And therefore, we have programs where I'm not present. Nope, I'm not there. But it's awesome stuff. And it's not that expensive. And anybody could afford it, frankly. And it's organized, systematized, taking you where you really want to go. So that's passive to me. That means I don't have to be there to teach you. So we do these calls right now. And guess what? This goes permanently on the podcast. And so years from now, when we're done with this, it's Memorex. It's in the can. It's something you can watch and listen to. No, even when I'm not here, even when I'm dead, frankly, it's not a good thought. But the point is, eventually, all that I do will be passive. So ultimately, do I want my legacy to go on after me, yeah, that's passive. That's the passive with a capital P.
That's right.
Right? So the question you ask as an investor is, can this eventually be passive to me? If it can't, unless it's my purpose in life, don't do it. Because eventually you're going to go, I don't like this anymore. I don't enjoy this. This is not my skill. This is not my passion. I don't want to do this anymore. And then if it requires your presence, you can't sell it.
That's right.
It's
you can't sell yourself with the business.
Exactly. You can't sell it. So you just built up a business that dies as soon as you're out. You're gone. You know, a friend of mine who was a CPA had a heart attack 8 years ago, and he was out hiking in the mountains. Mm-hmm. And has a heart attack. How is he going to live after that?
That's right.
Well, you know, he could have sold with his insurance. He could have, his wife would have gotten some money, but his business was dependent on him. Therefore, there was no liability insurance that if he couldn't work, maybe he didn't die from the heart attack, but maybe he couldn't work. If he couldn't work, then his business dies. And this value of millions of dollars of value, which is tied so much to him, if he's out, the business is gone, it's dead. You ask yourself the question, do I really want to build a business like that? No, I want to build a business that goes on without me as soon as I possibly can.
That's right.
3 years, 5 years? Yeah, you're out. Send me checks.
That's what I love about investing, that you are not building a business, you're building a legacy that will continue. Even if you're there or not, it still will continue. Maybe it will continue with your relatives, with your kids later on, but it will continue. Thank you so much again, Robert, for all of these many different pieces of advice and golden nuggets about real estate. And thank you to our audience for watching this episode.
Passive. That's the word.
That's right. Go out there, start investing. It may start active, but later on, turn it into a passive income for you. So it can turn into the legacy that you want to leave for your family and your relatives. We're going to see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.